If you're a new high earner, then you need these professionals in your life. The worst thing that happens to new high earners, me included, I am not excluded from this, is getting hit with the $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 tax bill. And let me tell you, I met with my CFO January of this year, January 2025, depending on when you're watching the video, I'll give you the exact date. Now, I meet with my CFO monthly, right? So when when January came around and she was like, Sephora, you're looking at a $70,000 plus tax bill. I was like, no, I'm not. No, I am not. How are we going to get that down? Okay. And we did get that down to a little over 20K. But the point is, so many new high earners don't have the right professionals on their team. And so a lot of things they unfortunately learn the hard way. And in some cases, they never learn whatsoever. So I thought, let me do this video and talk about the 7 professionals that every single new high earner needs to hire, needs on their team, needs to keep in the back of their mind. Because I wish someone had told me to get a CFO or accountant, someone before I started making this amount of money, because then I wouldn't owe any money at all. Okay, so let's jump into the video. You can probably guess what the first one is going to be, and that is, yes, either a CFO, an accountant, a tax person, whatever, however you want to describe it. It depends on your personal circumstances and whatever you got going on and what the person's official title is, CPA, accountant, CFO, whatever. The point is you need someone on your team, because if you're a new high earner and you're making over $200,000 a year, $150,000 a year, whatever, the worst thing that is going to happen, I promise, the worst thing is when you get hit with that tax bill and it's like, huh? Oh, where's that? Where's that money gonna come from? And so getting this CFO, accountant, tax person on your team, they can help you before you get hit with that tax bill to implement strategies to get that tax liability down legally, right? And so that's what my CFO does for me. The reason it's a CFO is because she's also a financial officer. So we do more than just taxes, right? We do projection, we do financial production, we do kind of things all in that realm, whatever. That's a completely separate video. The point is you want to be aware of, okay, what is my projected tax liability and how can I get that down? The important things that they can help you with is, number one, telling you, hey, you should consider opening up an LLC and buying things in your LLC name, because that's going to help you with tax liability, right? And I talked about this in one of my previous videos, which is called The Secret of the Wealthy. Make sure you watch it. It'll be up here on a card on the screen. Make sure you watch it after this video. That's what the rich and the wealthy people do. They own as little as possible in their personal name and own as much as possible in a business or an LLC name. Why? Because that gives you more tax write-offs. When you have more tax write-offs, you owe less in taxes, right? So CFO, accountant, whatever, can help you along those lines with getting those things set up. The CFO, accountant, I'm calling them all these different names, but whoever it is your tax person is, they can also help you. Even if you don't have the LLC, well, though I think you should probably open one. Even if you don't, they can help you on the personal side. What about tithing? Do you tithe? And how much did you tithe? Is it more than your standard deduction, right? What about moving expenses? Did you have to move for your job? And is that deductible, right? All these kinds of things you're going to want to talk about with your tax person, and meet with your tax person before taxes come due, because some of these things you will need to implement the prior year so that you don't owe the next year, right? So for example, you would need to implement these things in 2024 so that you're not owing big numbers in 2025. And so for some of you, that's going to look like, hey, real estate, hey, investments. And in an upcoming video, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about my journey and my financial freedom journey. And part of that, as I have shared, includes investment properties, includes all these things. Obviously, these are things I want to do, and these are things that are going to help me get to financial freedom. But the bonus side is that they also help reduce my tax liability. The second professional or person that you need on your team is a financial advisor or a financial planner. And I'm going to put a little asterisk here because I think it truly, truly does depend. I don't believe that you should go in and hire a financial advisor or a financial planner cold. That means when I say cold, you know nothing about the stock market, you know nothing about investing, you don't know about index funds, you don't know what to invest in or what not to invest in, you don't know what grows your money and what doesn't grow your money. I think you need to get a basic understanding. It literally does not have to be elaborate. Like watch a YouTube video or read a book on it. You need a basic understanding. I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not a financial planner, but this is just something that you should know so that you are in charge of your future, because it is your future after all. But if you're going to a financial advisor, you should be able to say, and I ask you like, oh, like what are you investing in? Or what is your financial advisor? What do they have you invested in? Right? And you're like, right? You want to know where your money is going, right? You're like, I don't know, but I told him I want something safe. Okay, but what does safe mean? Where does he have that money? Especially if you are paying your advisor either a percentage of your portfolio or a flat rate per year. I think it's still pretty important to know where your money is going and where your financial advisor has your money invested, because this is your future. This is your retirement, all of those things. So you want to be well aware of where your money is going. And so, yes, I think it is helpful to have one, but I think don't just go in cold. Have a basic understanding first. The second reason I have an asterisk here is because if you don't have like millions of dollars in assets, or you're investing like $1,000 or $2,000 per month, I don't think you necessarily need a financial advisor to help you invest that money. Nowadays, they have robo advisors, right? So like robotic advisors who can give you advice when you need it, who can give you a basic understanding when you need it, right? And the second thing is, if you're investing the $1,000 or $2,000 and you're just like, I just want to like keep it in the S&P 500. I just want to make sure I get my 8 to 10% average return from the S&P 500. You don't need a financial advisor to do that, right? You can literally go in and just do that on your own. So I guess those are three caveats. Is number one, you want to have a basic understanding. Number two, like robo advisors exist, especially if you don't have huge portfolios. And then number three, if your plan is really just to ride out the S&P 500 and that's what you want to do, you don't need a financial advisor to do that for you. You can open up your own brokerage account. Again, this is not financial advice. You should do what works for you and what is needed for you. But at the very, very least, get a basic understanding, or talk to someone, talk to multiple financial advisors, financial planners who can give you that basic understanding, and make sure you understand what they are going to be doing with your money, how they're using your money, and where their fees are going and how you are paying them. Make sure you understand all of that. Don't just go in cold. Don't just go in blind, because you want to be in charge of your money, because it is your future after all. Number three, you need an attorney, especially if you are a high earner. You need an attorney who can help you set up a will, an estate, a trust, whatever it may be. You need to have that in order. God forbid you pass away early or whatever's going on. You want to make sure all your affairs are in order. And so you need an attorney. And if you own a business like I do, and you also need an attorney to help protect your business, right? To help protect your IP, to help protect your assets, like literally like whatever it may be, you need an attorney on your team to get these things in order. I feel like this one is kind of self-explanatory, so not much more to say there. Number four is life insurance. This kind of builds on the attorney piece just a little bit. But again, if you're a high earner, and especially if you're the breadwinner in your family, having that life insurance is going to be important, because if something happens to you, your family needs to be taken care of. And so just get the life insurance. Find a reputable supplier, provider, whatever you want to call it, who can get that set up for you. And I always recommend talking to multiple people and going with your needs and what works best for you. Number five is a realtor. And this one is probably my favorite. And that's because if you are a high earner, especially if you're doing over $200,000, $300,000 per year, you're going to need a realtor. You're going to want to get some investment properties under your belt. I talk about this all the time, especially if you're in a position to house hack, right? So buy a multiplex, buy a multi-unit where you can live in one and rent out the other. Or if you just want to go the full investment route, so not live in one and rent out both. But that is not only a great way of getting passive income, but like I said at the beginning, it's a great way of getting that tax liability down, right? And so there's literally two things here, two reasons here why you're going to want someone who is well informed, has sold multiplex before, can guide you through the process, knows what to look for, knows what to ask for, knows like the whole nine. So you want to get a really good realtor in that regard. And again, if you are this high earner, making sure that you have multiple streams of income coming in so that all of your money isn't coming from one source. Again, this is something I talked about in my video on the secrets of the wealthy. They have these multiple streams of income coming in. There's not one source, because if that one source dries up, then everything dries up, right? You have these multiple sources, and real estate is one of the best ways to bring in that other source of income because it doesn't have to be super active. You can hire property managers, you can hire people to do the work for you, you can hire people to get renters in, to run the background checks, all that good stuff. And it's a great way, again, to bring in truly passive income. The next professional you're going to want to hire is a coach. And this one is pretty broad, but it's what I put in the camp of coaches, professionals, and experts. And that's because depending on what you are doing, depending on the way you want to go, how you want to get to financial freedom, how you want to make your money work for you, you're going to need someone to guide you along the way. Okay? Do not try to go it alone. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is trying to do it alone. Again, I feel like I keep referencing this video, but I talked about this in The Secrets of the Wealthy. They spend less time doing something. They hire someone else to help them do it the right way and do it faster. They recognize that time is so much more valuable than money. And that is so important here, because a coach, for example, if you want to build a real estate portfolio, and honestly, even if you don't want to build a real estate portfolio, but your goal is to have 1 or 2 investment properties that can replace your $10K a month, and trust me, you can do that. You're going to need someone who can help you do that. You're going to need someone who has done that before. If you want to go the Airbnb route, there's people who teach you how to do the Airbnb thing. You don't have to figure these things out on your own, right? So I'm not going to go into like every single different possible coach that you can have, but you do want to keep in mind, like, okay, how do I want to make my money work for me? How do I want to bring in passive income? How do I take more money from my personal earned income, which is taxed higher, and put it over on this side into assets that I can then use as tax write-offs, right? And so real estate is just one of those. There's so many different things here to talk about. The point is, I think a coach, a professional, an expert, someone to guide you along the way. And you can kind of even put a realtor in this category as well. But I did single out realtor, of course. But this one is definitely like one of the keys. I've talked about it a million times on this channel. I hired business coaches. That's how I got my business to where I am right now in the Prosperous Woman Collective. We bring in professionals, experts, and coaches literally twice every single month to talk to us about getting to financial freedom, to talk to us about making our money work for us. They talk to us about real estate. They talk to us about investing in the stock market. They talk to us about alternative investments, financial freedom, entrepreneurship, business ownership, building a brand. Literally, guys, I could go on and on and on. In the Prosperous Woman Collective, that's why I started. It's because it is a group of new high-earning women. We're all on this journey to make our money work for us, because we recognize that as long as your money is tied to a job, you're not truly financially free, because you're only free as long as you're getting that income from that job. And so you have to replace that income. You have to make money elsewhere. You have to bring in those passive sources. So again, a coach, that is why they're on this list. And the 7th professional or expert that you may want to hire, I would say is probably optional, is a therapist. And that is maybe because a lot of you are going to need to overcome some money mindset issues. And this can also maybe go a little bit into the coach, because there are like money mindset coaches, but it can also just go into a therapist as well. So, right, maybe you have money mindset issues. Maybe you're going to have like some issues with your family, especially if you're the first new high earner. So whatever, right? Maybe you're going to want to talk through some difficult subjects, whatever it may be. A therapist is going to help you along the way. And so those are the 7 professionals and experts that you need to hire if you're a new high earner on your journey to financial freedom. If you guys haven't already, make sure you watch the previous video on The Secrets of the Wealthy, where I go much more into depth on how the wealthy really get wealthy and how they keep their money, which is so much more important than actually getting the money. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me over on my other social media at Sephora Gray Esquire. That's ESQ for short. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.